You hear the screeching of an owl, you hear the wind begin to howl. You know there's zombies on the prowl. And it's terror time again. They've got you running through the night. It's terror time again. And you just might die of fright. It's a terrifying time.
Hello everyone, this is Core, and with the spooky season right around the corner, it's time to get into some true blue spooky mods. We got a pretty nice lineup today. Unfortunately, I won't be including any mods I've already covered before, like Afraid of Monsters, but I think we've got some pretty interesting stuff. Before we begin, I'd like to ask y'all to support the content, as well as support today's artist HaloOwl, as he's done some really fantastic work. Now let's dive in with our first mod, shall we? I'm sure you've all heard the old urban legend of Bloody Mary. Call her name 3 times in front of a mirror, and you'll summon the ghost of Bloody Mary, who will haunt you, or will reveal the future if you can endure her torment and assaults. There's many different variations of the legend, but in this mod made by T. Chernobyl, you'll summon the zombified corpse of Bloody Mary by invoking her name via right-clicking the mirror, and she will attempt to slay you. It's more fun sounding than it actually is, especially as depending on the mirror you use, you may just summon Bloody Mary trapped inside of a sink, unable to actually harm you. In which case she'll act more like a ghost, just permanently haunting your bathroom until you decide to put her out of her misery. In which case she'll drop a unique nightgown and long gloves upon her death. This game mod actually does work in multiplayer, but you have to actually call it out 3 times in front of the mirror instead of right-clicking. This is a solid concept for a mod, but it could definitely use a bit more in the execution department. Maybe make it so Bloody Marys randomly spawn somewhere inside of the house, or you have to defeat her multiple times before she stops haunting you. It is nice you can keep summoning her. I guess it's nice if you get lonely, I suppose, in those cold winter months. Either way, fun idea, T. Have you ever wanted to add even more panic and chaos to a run? Well, look no further than the Echoes of the Dead mod by Astro Macro. This mod, whenever you kill a zombie, there's a certain percentage chance for that zombie to be a screamer, which on common is an 8% chance. And when this happens, the zombie will scream loudly upon its death. With a scream loud enough to attract zombies anywhere from 70 to 210 tiles away. So be careful using this mod on higher populations, or each zombie has the potential to be a house alarm of terror and fear. And if you use sprinters, may RNGesus have mercy on your soul, because the incoming horde most assuredly will not. The death screams are also pretty startling, especially if you don't expect them. And I like the fact that there is a variety of screams, so it's not the same sound effect repeated over and over again. Nice work, Astro Macro. Are you tired of the zombies' default look? Do you wish they were a little more gross and horrifying? Well, this is the case, then Scary Zombies by Pinned Design has you covered. This mod seeks to up the gore and blood factor of the zombies, and up it does. Each zombie will now be bloodier, gorier, and even more decayed. The older the body, the more rotten and desiccated it becomes, which definitely helps to sell the world a little bit better. A short, simple, and to the point spooky mod, and I like it. Have you ever seen the film 28 Days Later? If so, then you should know to stay away from the windows. With this mod by Clem and IADNO, you'll learn why barricading your base is so important. This mod allows zombies to quite literally burst through any window that's unbarricaded instantly. So if they see you and come at you, instead of thumping slowly against the glass, they'll instantly shatter it and flop their way in trying to consume your flesh. Definitely a good way to get the old heart pumping and give yourself a heart attack at the same time, especially when the house is surrounded like that cabin in RE4.
Okay, it's game time.
Overall, I like the concept. I wonder what other terrifying mods these two will come up with in the future. Want to make your runs even spicier with the ability for the power to randomly shut off on its own for undetermined periods of time? If so, let me introduce the Blackouts mod by Joy Tomorrow. This mod introduced random blackouts that are independent of the permanent power breaking down. So if you say you want to have a longer than usual power on, but still introduce some of the challenge and threat, and make generators still a useful piece of kit, then consider this mod, as by default every hour past the first day, there's a 10% chance the power will randomly shut off and go down for a random amount of time. There are cooldowns between blackouts, so a certain amount of hours must pass before another power outage can happen. I like how customizable the options are in the sandbox mode for this mod, so that's a definite perk. Speaking of perks, there is a trait for 1 point that lets you spawn with a flashlight. So if you're worried about the darkness, that may be a good cheap option, especially if you don't want to spend it on Speed Demon. Good job, Joy. Well, today we're heading for the Danger Zone.
Danger zone?
That's right, it's the Danger Zone, or the From the Fog mod by Ogre Leg. This mod adds the random chance for you to be ambushed up to 3 times a day whenever you're in very thick fog, allowing several zombies the chance to spawn in and attack you. There's a few sandbox settings that you can change to set it up however you like. Raise or lower the minimum fog intensity for the zombies, change how many tiles away from you they could spawn, things like that. Overall, while not a huge mod, it's definitely interesting and effective for providing those good jump scares. Good work, mate. Overall, there's a nice variety of interesting horror mods today. There was more I wanted to showcase, but sound mods are often a pain in the ass to install as they require you to manually replace files. But my favorite mod today is probably the Blackouts mod, as it adds even more immersion. Especially in a world devastated by the apocalypse, there probably would be random blackouts, especially as the few emergency workers that are left attempt to battle to keep the systems up while people wreak havoc in the state. Nice work, mate. Now, if y'all liked the video, I'd appreciate y'all's support on the content. And speaking of support on the content, I gotta thank all the members seen on the screen today. Thanks to all of y'all for enjoying the video. This has been Core, and I'll see y'all in the next video.